One. Hi, welcome. We are from communications class 176. We are doing a presentation on CTR, aka critical race theory. And these are the group members we have, which is Hansel Marshburn.
Fernando Marquez.
I am Araceli Ixta.
I'm Marissa Carbonell.
I'm Matthew Villagracia.
And I'm Charles Ryan Kimwell.
Of course. And Fernando, you can start us off.
Today we're going to be talking about critical race theory, what exactly critical race theory is, the aspects of critical race theory, who invented critical race theory and how it came to be, and how critical race theory is being used today.
Of course.
According to the online Britannica Encyclopedia, critical race theory started back in the 1960s and 1970s when activists and legal scholars were trying to understand why the US civil rights movement had lost momentum. However, it was officially organized in 1989 at its first annual workshop. Critical race theory basically says that race is not biologically grounded or natural. Instead, it's systematically to oppress people of color and maintain imbalanced power relationships between groups of people.
Of course.
So according to a paper done at the University of Wisconsin by Nicholas Daniel on critical race theory, there are five major aspects or components of critical race theory. The first one is that that racism is ordinary and not aberrational, which basically means that it's normal for people to have certain points of views of different races. It's not, you aren't born racist, you're kind of taught from the world around you. The second one is the idea of interest convergence, which means that Black people don't win really civil rights unless it's also a win for white people. The social construction of race is basically stereotypes and how we view people. So we all know that there are certain stereotypes of movies that can affect us and how we see different people. And the idea of storytelling versus counter storytelling is basically, think of your history textbook. That's just one side of the story, and counter storytelling is more of that person's side that we're talking about. Next.
One of the main theorists and founders behind the critical race theory is Derek Bell, who is a law professor who worked with several civil rights cases and lawsuits with the Legal Defense Fund, which is a legal organization underneath the NAACP. So according to an article by The New Yorker called "The Man Behind Critical Race Theory," it was through these lawsuits and civil rights cases that he analyzed that he saw it had a limited legal impact. So he argued that racism is permanent in our government policies and our legal system. And in 1970, he published a casebook called Race, Racism, and American Law, which examined several civil rights cases throughout American history. And in this book, he argues that racial progress mainly occurs when it aligns with the interests of white people and it fails to attack the root causes of systematic racism.
Of course.
And then the term of critical race theory was coined in 1989 with Kimberly Crenshaw and a few others. She's a law professor who wrote several pieces on race, civil rights, and law that later became key writings that helped form the movement behind critical race theory. And she helped define critical race theory as a way to look at how racial labels are produced and enabled by American policies. and how it is inherent in our institutions and our government because they were built to sustain racism. So in an interview she did with Vanity Fair called How Critical Race Theorist Mastermind is Weathering the Culture Wars, she gives an example of systematic racism and critical race theory by looking at the history of traditionally Black and white neighborhoods. So this is an example of how race is made real through social constructions, like the segregation of Black and white neighborhoods, and rich neighborhoods received federal funding. So she's credited as the creator and helped define what critical race theory is.
Of course. Now it's time to play the Kahoot, the activity part. Let me get you guys the what's it called? The link. Hold on.
Link. Okay.
Yeah. There's a link. And I'm gonna start screen sharing this. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Classic mode. All right. That's the code. Join up when you guys can. Me and Charles created this.
Awesome. Nice job, Charles and Hansel.
Just waiting on a couple more people. Y'all ready? Okay.
Yes.
First question. Critical race theory activity presented by Charles and Hans. 3, 2, 1. Quiz. What is critical race theory? What do you guys think it is? Any there's cross-disciplinary examination of how the people of power explore racial movements, crime movements, explore taxes, and apparently gym memberships, which make no sense, but
I think it's that one, the gym membership.
gym
ones.
memberships.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
So it is explore the racial movements.
we all got that right. Right.
Everyone got their own. That one got correct, of course. Fernando starting off with the big lead. Okay, next question. Who was one of the creators of the theory? Derrick Henry, the football player. Drake Bell from Drake and Josh. Drake Graham, the rapper, or Derek Bell? What you all think?
I think it's Drake Bell, the guy from Drake and Josh. That seems about right.
I feel that. I feel that. Okay, so we're
That's
just
it.
waiting on one more person. They're just waiting on one more person. Hold on, chat. Hold on. Y'all good? Y'all good?
Yeah.
And it was Derek Bell. He was one of the creators, and he even said it on the PowerPoint that he was. Fernando with the steady lead. Why was the theory created? So the responses are to understand why school district has not taught the theory to children, to understand why the US civil rights movement had lost momentum in the 1970s, or to understand why we're hiding the truth of American history. We're just waiting on the people. So the correct answer is to understand why the civil rights movement had lost momentum in the 1970s. It was in the PowerPoint. Marissa coming up and Ixta as well, but Fernando with that steady lead. Next question. What are the major components of CTR? Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. All of them are correct, but the thing is that Kahoot does not let me, there's like a word limit and it didn't let me do much. Like, it's very picky on what we can do. So just click on anyone. This one's a freebie. All of them are correct, so don't worry about it. So the 5 motions are the notion that racism is ordinary and not aberrational, the idea of an interest convergence, the social construction of race, and whites have actually been of civil rights. I had to shorten that one because of word count. The idea of storytelling and counter storytelling. Okay, all of them are correct. Fernando with a steady lead like always. Congrats, Fernando, starting off hot. Okay, next question.
Oh,
According to critical race theory, race is a social construct. True or false? Of course. Charles, can you explain this for me, please?
Yes. So the critical race theory introduces the idea that race, rather than having a biological basis, is socially constructed.
Okay, thank you. Fernando.
yeah.
Pro or con? Critical race theory can be out in a debate where race isn't a problem. Pro or con?
No, that's it. Click the wrong one.
Con. Can you explain this for me, Charles?
So basically they're saying that the theory of critical race can be used in a debate where race is not a factor.
Of course. Fernando with a steady lead. Question number 7. Critical race theory gives light to some major problems that people go through. Pro or con? Can you explain this, Charles? I know that this one was kind of
Okay, I made a mistake on that one. So the actual answer is pro. So basically it's saying that according to the PowerPoint, it says that there are some major problems that many people face that are given light by the critical race theory.
of course. Appreciate you. Matt. Even though he cheated.
I'm sorry.
Okay, why did the theory originated?
No, I got that one wrong again too by accident.
Critical legal studies. Charles, can you please explain this? And if you can, use a source, please.
So according to the PowerPoint, it says this theory originates from critical legal studies or CLS, and critical race theory branches off the study of CLS by going into further detail on how race plays a role in law and social and political movements by empowering the rich at the expense of the poor.
Of course. So that's the next one. No, Fernando's all the way in the bottom.
It happens, man.
Charles.
Finger slips.
Charles is cheating. He
I'm
knew the
not.
answers. He knew the answers. Okay, next question. When did critical race theory officially be defined and considered as a term? In the year 1989. Charles is in the lead. Kind of sad Fernando's not on top.
I can recover.
Where did critical race theory officially define and consider as a term? Coined as a term.
Dun dun dun.
The first annual workshop of critical race theory. Charles, can you explain?
So the critical race theory was officially defined and coined as a term in 1898 at the first annual workshop at Critical Race.
Appreciate you. Fernando making his way on top. But Matthew cheating like always, but okay. Critical race theory began in high school, middle school, law, or private school. Choose your answer. Choose wisely.
Middle school sounds right. I mean, middle schoolers are pretty smart.
I know there is a show. Are you smarter than a fifth grader? Law school. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. Marissa in the lead. W Marissa. Last and final question. Critical race theory says that racism is just mixed division, but systematic and institutional. Charles, please explain.
So this means that the theory says that racism is part of everybody everyday's life.
Appreciate you. Okay, let's see who won. Third place, Matt. Third place, Matt. Second place, Ixta. First place. Dun, 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 dun. Marissa, let's go. Top in the chat. Okay. Hey. Okay. That's the end of the PowerPoint. Let's go back to the presentation. Okay. Conclusion.
So, to review, with critical race theory, remember there are 5 elements in total of major components of renters. The 5 elements are notion that racism is ordinary and not rare, the idea of an interest combination, a social raising of race, the idea of storytelling and counter storytelling, and notion that whites had actually been receivers of civil rights law enactment. To refresh what is critical race theory? It is a cross disappearing explanation of how people of power explore racial moment. With everything we talked about critical race theory and our source and quiz from Kuhu, it shows that it is important part of life on how it started to now and who created it with Derek Bell. With the activity we did, it taught us multiple facts about it, such as the true definition of critical race theory, who created it, when it began, and many more. With that saying, critical race theory can be helpful in the future from many people, but some people can be against it as well. People can have different opinions from it, but many things can change in the future, and it can affect the intercultural relationships too. With that, with the theory, many people learn about it and begins at law schools. Overall, with critical race theory, it can affect many things from now to the future, and many can change later on as well.
Everything
That's
good?
it.
Thank you, and this concludes our presentation on CTR, aka critical race theory.